Marcus hadn't felt this nervous since his wedding day 7 years ago. His palms were sweating as he sat across from Sarah at the candlelit Italian restaurant, trying to remember how dating even worked. It had been 3 years since his wife Emma passed away from cancer, leaving him alone to raise their 5-year-old daughter, Lily. 3 years of sleepless nights, parent-teacher conferences, braiding hair with YouTube tutorials, and slowly learning that he could be both mom and dad. Tonight was supposed to be about him, just for a few hours. His sister had insisted, practically forcing him out the door.
"You deserve happiness too, Marcus,"
she'd said. And sitting here, watching Sarah's warm smile as she talked about her work at the children's hospital, he thought maybe, just maybe, she was right. If this story touches your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel Kindness. Your support helps us share more stories about the beautiful moments that make us human. The evening had been perfect. Sarah was intelligent, compassionate, and had a laugh that made Marcus forget about the mountain of laundry waiting at home. They discovered they both loved old jazz music, preferred books to movies, and had an irrational fear of birds. When she reached across the table and squeezed his hand during a particularly vulnerable moment about losing Emma, Marcus felt something he thought had died with his wife, hope. As dessert arrived, Sarah excused herself to the restroom. Marcus sat back, allowing himself to imagine a future that involved more than just surviving each day. Maybe Lily could have a mother figure again. Maybe he could have a partner to share the burden, someone to talk to after Lily went to bed, someone to hold on the hard days. When Sarah returned, something had changed. Her smile seemed forced, her eyes distant. She slid back into her seat with an unusual heaviness. "Marcus," she began, her voice soft but firm, "I need to be honest with you about something." His heart sank. Here it comes, he thought. She's going to say she's not ready for a relationship. Or worse, she doesn't want to date someone with a child. He'd been through this before on the few dates his sister had arranged. The moment women learned about Lily, they found creative ways to disappear. "I had a wonderful time tonight," Sarah continued, looking down at her untouched tiramisu. "You're an incredible man, and any woman would be lucky to be with you." "But," Marcus prompted, bracing himself. Sarah took a deep breath. "But I have to tell you something. I'm a single mom too. I have a 6-year-old son, Tyler. His father left when he found out I was pregnant." She paused, her eyes glistening. "I didn't mention it earlier because I wanted to see if we had a real connection first, before complicating things. And we do, Marcus, we really do. But I know what you're going through, the exhaustion, the guilt of taking time for yourself, the constant juggling act." She reached across the table, but this time her hand trembled slightly. "You can leave if you want, I understand. Dating a single parent is hard enough, but 2 single parents? That's twice the chaos, twice the complications. You deserve someone who can give you simplicity, someone who can focus entirely on you and Lily without bringing their own baggage." Her voice cracked. "You can leave, Marcus. I won't be offended. I know how hard this life is." Marcus sat frozen, staring at this beautiful, vulnerable woman who was giving him an out. An escape from potential complications, permission to walk away without guilt. But instead of relief, he felt something else entirely: recognition. He thought about the previous Tuesday when Lily had been sick with the flu. He'd called in sick to work, spent the day wiping her fevered brow, holding a bucket while she got sick, and reading Charlotte's Web in funny voices to distract her from feeling miserable. That evening, after Lily finally fell asleep, he'd collapsed on the couch and cried, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming weight of doing it all alone, of having no one to spell him, no one to share the worry with, no one to reassure him he was doing okay. Sarah knew that feeling. He could see it in her eyes. She lived it every single day. "Tell me about Tyler," Marcus said quietly. Sarah looked up, surprised. "What? Your son, Tyler. Tell me about him." Confusion flickered across her face, followed by cautious hope. "Marcus, didn't you hear what I said? I'm giving you an out here. I heard you perfectly." He leaned forward, taking both her hands in his. "And I'm asking you to tell me about your son." Tears began rolling down Sarah's cheeks. "He loves dinosaurs," she whispered. "He can name every species of the Cretaceous period. He's obsessed with building elaborate Lego cities. He's afraid of the dark, but pretends he's not because he thinks 6-year-old boys should be brave." She laughed through her tears. "He asks me every night why he doesn't have a daddy like his friends do, and I never know what to say." Marcus felt his own eyes burning. Lily loves princesses, but not the pretty ones, the ones who fight dragons. She insists on wearing mismatched socks because she says matching is boring. She still sleeps with the stuffed elephant her mom gave her before she died. His voice thickened. "And she asked me last month if it would make Mommy sad if she wanted a new mommy too." They sat there, two broken people holding hands across a table, understanding each other in a way few others could. "Sarah, do you know what I see when I look at you?" Marcus asked. "I don't see complications or baggage. I see a woman who fights every single day to give her son the best life possible. I see someone who understands 3 a.m. panic attacks about whether you're screwing up your kid. I see someone who knows what it means to be touched out and exhausted but still finds the energy to read one more bedtime story. I see a partner." "But it won't be easy," Sarah protested, even as hope bloomed in her expression. "Playdates and scheduling and blending families. Nothing worth having is easy," Marcus interrupted. "I've spent 3 years convinced I had to be everything to Lily by myself. That needing help made me weak. That wanting companionship made me selfish." He squeezed her hands. "But maybe we're not supposed to do this alone. Maybe 2 single parents together aren't twice the chaos. Maybe we're twice the support, twice the understanding, twice the love." Sarah smiled through her tears. "You're not running?" "Not a chance. Actually, I have a proposition." Marcus's eyes lit up with sudden inspiration. "How about next weekend we do something really crazy?" "What's that?" "A play date. You, me, Tyler, and Lily. We'll go to the park, push kids on swings, probably break up at least 2 arguments about whose turn it is on the slide, and eat terrible hot dogs from a cart." He grinned. "What do you say? Want to see what our chaos looks like together?" Sarah laughed, a genuine, joyful sound that made Marcus's heart soar. "That sounds perfect. Absolutely chaotic and perfect." The rest of the evening flew by as they traded stories, not the polished, date-appropriate versions, but the real ones. The time Tyler put a crayon up his nose, and Sarah had to take him to the ER. The morning Lily decided to cut her own hair the day before school pictures. The small victories like successful potty training and learned multiplication tables. The crushing lows like Mother's Day programs at school with empty chairs and Father's Day crafts they dreaded. As Marcus walked Sarah to her car, she turned to him with wonder in her eyes. "I've been on a lot of first dates since Tyler was born. Do you know what usually happens when I mention I'm a single mom? They make excuses and disappear." "Exactly. I started leading with it just to save time and disappointment. Tonight I almost didn't come because I was so tired from Tyler being up late with nightmares. I thought about canceling, making up an excuse, but something told me to give it one more try. I'm glad you did." Marcus tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. "You know what the hardest part of being a single parent is? What's that? Feeling like you have to apologize for your life for your circumstances, for needing help or wanting happiness. He looked at her intently. You don't have to apologize to me, Sarah. Not for Tyler, not for being tired, not for any of it. Your life isn't baggage. It's beautiful. That Saturday, Marcus and Sarah met at Riverside Park with their children. Lily wore her dragon-fighting princess dress with, of course, mismatched socks. Tyler brought his favorite T-Rex toy and approximately 47 facts about dinosaurs. The kids were shy at first, hiding behind their parents' legs, but when Tyler dropped his T-Rex in a mud puddle and started crying, Lily marched over, fished it out, and declared, "It's okay. Dinosaurs liked mud. They were probably dirty all the time." Tyler looked at this strange girl with wonder, and just like that, they were friends. As Marcus and Sarah sat on a bench watching their children play, Tyler teaching Lily about velociraptors while Lily insisted that velociraptors would definitely lose to a dragon-fighting princess. They held hands and smiled. "You know what I realized?" Sarah said softly. "When you whispered those words about not running, about seeing a partner, that was the moment I stopped feeling alone." Marcus kissed her temple. "We're not alone anymore, either of us. Sometimes the most perfect love stories aren't the simple ones. Sometimes they're the messy, complicated ones where two people find each other not despite their struggles, but because of them. Where I understand means more than I love you, at least at first. Where family doesn't start perfect, it starts real." 3 years later, Marcus and Sarah stood in their backyard, watching 8-year-old Tyler help 9-year-old Lily build an elaborate Lego castle that would definitely have dragons. They were married now, living in organized chaos with mismatched socks scattered everywhere and dinosaur facts shared at every dinner. Sarah leaned into Marcus's embrace. "Remember when I told you that you could leave? Best invitation I ever declined." "You know what changed my life that night?" she asked. "What's that?" "You didn't see Tyler as a complication. You saw him as part of the package, part of what made me who I am. You didn't want the simplified version of me. You wanted all of it, the beautiful mess of it." Marcus turned her to face him. "That's because the mess is where the magic happens. Two kids who found friendship, two parents who found partnership, a family that chose each other." From the Lego construction site, they heard Lily announce, "Tyler, when I marry a prince, you can be his best man because you're basically my brother." "Cool," Tyler responded. "Can the wedding have dinosaurs?" "Obviously. Dragon-fighting princesses and dinosaurs go together." Sarah and Marcus laughed, holding each other close, surrounded by the beautiful chaos they'd built together. Two single parents who had both learned that sometimes the right person isn't someone who makes life simpler. It's someone who makes the complicated parts worth it. If this story warmed your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel Kindness. Together we can spread more stories of hope, love, and the courage to embrace life's beautiful complications. Because the world needs more reminders that we're all worthy of love exactly as we are.